Hey everybody, James here with another video. Thanks again for everybody who's watching these videos. I didn't think reviving this dead channel would keep getting increased views on every single video, but every single video seems to get a few hundred more. So we're really rolling right now. It is Tuesday. Dropped off about 4 big bags at the USPS post office. If you're a big reseller, you probably know what those bags are. They're these big plastic kind of translucent bags. I think they're called like number 9 bags or number 4. I can't remember what terminology USPS uses, but anyway, it's always good to get packages out and out the door and to the customers. Now, there have been comments in the comment section that saying, "How do you lose money on certain things?" Because I have been open that there are certain items that we sell that I am losing money on. Why do you do that? What's the point? Just explain to me why that is. First of all, you have to realize that I don't even though technically I can call myself an eBay reseller at this point because I don't go out and source really. I do source some stuff, but mostly it's just other people's stuff. So we take other people's items, list them on eBay, do everything, the whole process, the whole 9 yards, get it shipped out, and we pay out the people, and we take a percentage of the actual whatever it actually sold for. So we have no real inventory of myself. Now, I do have some stuff, of course. If you've been, reselling for a long time, you seem to always have stuff, hanging around that you need to get to selling. There are a lot of resellers that have like death piles, I think that's what they call them, where they just have a whole lot of stuff and they just can't ever get to it. And they seem to always have fun sourcing, right? Always have fun buying, but it's always tough to get it to actually list it and ship it. Kind of the hard stuff of reselling, and whether it's just in actually a room in your home, or it's something where it's like you're in a shed or a warehouse, depending on where you are, the level of reseller. You always seem to need space for more and more and more inventory, and you get just like backed up with a lot of stuff. We don't have that problem. We did move into a lease space, from the office that I did have here, where we were. This is the old office, just to expand, maybe have another few employees, but mostly it was other people's stuff that we had to bring in, not my own. So I don't even know if I can call myself a reseller because I am selling on eBay, but it's not like I'm buying stuff and then to sell it. It's other people's inventory. But so this really doesn't. This applies somewhat to people who are reselling on eBay, but I think it's specifically for me on certain aspects. Now, there are people who ask like, why would you lose money on something? But I'm going to bring this example: Costco, right? Costco loses about, I think it's like 30 to 40 million dollars selling their rotisserie chicken for $4.99. It loses like 40 million dollars on that one single item. And a lot of people ask like, what's the reason for that? And if you think about it for a little bit, it's like, wait, well, I know why. It's to bring people in. People usually don't just come in and just have a chicken in their hand. Usually they buy other stuff. It builds brand loyalty. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, bringing people in for that thing. There's also, I think they sell hot dogs really cheap, whatever. But the chicken is the main thing because it loses them tens of millions of dollars. But as you look at their P&L, because they are a public company, and they make like over, they make billions of dollars in net income. So that's really not, that's what they call, what do they call it? Like a loss leader? Is that what they call it? Anyway, it basically brings people in, builds brand loyalty, and really, has people sign up for memberships, and it brings other things along with it. Now, as a reseller, you buy an item for $5 or you buy an item for like $20. You don't want to sell it for 10. That's just a straight up loss, right? At that point. So I get how this kind of concept really might not work for some people who are just literally buying something, selling something. It has to be, an actual, profit every single time. Or if you don't make a profit, you better be learning something from it and not, not really doing much of that in the future. But I can say for some resellers, so there's some people who have 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube. But there are some people who are like have 150. They get 20 views on YouTube. They're not making any money, right? That's a use of their time. That's a use of their value, and they're not getting profit out of it. But what they're doing is they're possibly building a brand. They might have, a couple people that come in there, a customer or two that might want to click on their affiliate link in the eBay store. Maybe some big YouTuber, whatever, discovers them and says, what, I really like this guy, and I'm going to shout them out. And then they build some from there. There's other things that can come from that, right? But for us, what do we lose money? Lose money on. We can take people's raw cards and get them graded at a grading company like PSA. PSA for $14.75. That's the lowest. I don't think anybody even comes close to grading PSA cards for that price. And then we sell them on our eBay store. Now we make money selling an eBay store, but we lose money on the cost of grading. Absolutely do. It's to bring people in and be able to auction their other stuff. And then, we've noticed once we get people in the door, the return customer rate is pretty high. So it's just getting people in the door, just like the Costco example. We're running a promotion in August where we can sell your items over $1,000 for 8.9%. That's way lower than eBay. If you sell an auction, a higher end card like that on eBay yourself, you're going to be paying like 13, 14, 15%. If you sell it to someone in like Canada or Europe or whatever, if an international customer wants to buy it, it's an extra 1.65%, I think it is. It's way cheaper than that. And that we're losing money, but we're bringing, guess what? You have a $5,000, $10,000 item listed on our eBay store. There's a whole lot of watchers, a whole lot of people who look at it. We put on our little subtitle, hey, use our consignment service. And guess what? Someone wants to use the, it brings a lot of eyeballs. There aren't a lot of people just like looking through your store looking at $15 items, right? It's those big high-end items. It's like advertising. It's basically our advertising budget that we're using. And what we've noticed is that people usually, when they send like higher end items to us, there are some people that send like one card and it's a high end item, but a lot of people, they'll send like 10 cards, 20 cards, 50 cards. 1, 2, 3 cards are high end, but the rest are just stuff there. Like as they're packing the box, they're like, you know what? I'm also going to get rid of this and this and this. I don't really care about this, this, this. And then we can make, money off those and bring in more customers when people see those eyeballs. We're going to be also introducing other things that, as a company, we're going to be losing money on, but that's fine because it's going to be a future growth, brand recognition, brand trust, everything to do with that, and kind of an advertising budget, if you want to say marketing. But I think there's resellers, a lot of people out there, that every single thing they buy has to be profit. Every single minute they spend, if they're trying to build a brand like on Instagram or any social media platform like YouTube, or all these things that they're trying to learn, right? A lot of it can be like time losses, which can be money losses. You see on YouTube, a lot of people like go to these garage sales and they'll show the highlights, right? They'll show like, oh, I bought this and I made profit here. I made this and I profit here and blah, blah, blah. But a lot of sourcing is just, if you actually make the timetable, it's like, hey, let me go to an Excel spreadsheet. Let me put how much time I spent. You're going to say like, wow, I wasted a lot of time going out there. But that's something that you shouldn't look at as a waste of time. A lot of people will look at that and they'll look at the spreadsheet and say, wow, I'm only making like this much per hour. But what are you gaining outside of that? Now for us, we're gaining advertising, marketing, we're gaining, new customers that might come in to try the service, and then they're return customers, and that will bring more. We've seen the amount of return customers turnover is awesome. So I guess the point of this is that we do lose money on certain things, but it's offset by a whole lot of other stuff that is brought in because of that. Just like Costco, just like their chicken. I'm sure a lot of other companies do the same thing. That's just one example that I have off the top of my head that I do remember. I'm sure there's a lot of companies that bring in people, the promotions, or, if you sign up for internet or something. Remember, I don't know, it's like I'm talking to like I'm talking to somebody. But a lot of times when you sign up for some kind of utility like internet, they'll give you like $100 Visa gift card, right? Or like a $200 something. I think when I sign up for the business internet, which is kind of expensive, but they said they'd send me, and I haven't gotten it yet. I got to follow up on that, like a $400 Visa gift card. Now, why would they do that? To bring people in? Because they are losing it right there. Like my internet bill is not $400. It's not $400. It's about $400 for 2 months, maybe like 2 point something months. But as a business customer, they know that it's pretty hard to, get out of a lease and move a whole business. So they know I'm probably going to stay there for a while. They're not just going to get 2 months out of me. They're probably going to get years out of me. So they're okay eating that upfront cost and getting me in versus maybe some other internet provider that there might be out there. to use them. So, it happens all the time for, especially the bigger the companies they are. But that was just kind of an answer to the comments that say, like, why do you lose money on certain things? Because it brings in a lot of people, and a lot of those people don't just submit those cards, they submit other things. Builds brand recognition, builds a goodwill. People say, like, wow, that's great that they're, doing that to bring in other sales. Word of mouth, it's a lot of stuff. So that's kind of the whole premise of there. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks again for watching, and keep the questions coming in the comment section below. We have a very nice amount of cards coming in this coming week. I believe it will be about 1,200 cards again. That'll be listed in the eBay store, hopefully over 100,000. I think I'm going to do a monthly update to see where our sales are for the month, kind of track that and go over that. We're really looking at $100,000 in sales every single week from here for the next, I think I started the whole goal the 1st of August. So this, till the next July 31st, we want $100,000 a week, which comes out to, if you can do math, about $5 million in sales. So we'll see if we can do that, see what other stuff we can bring in. But yeah, thanks again for watching. It's been great to talk to you guys. I think I'm going to make an actual video on the main channel soon to talk about some updates to the processes and more promotions. Like I said, bring people in. Anyway, thanks again